Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Me, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In this most recent chapter of 1076 of One Piece, in the Egghead Island arc, we have discovered and confirmed that there is a traitor among the punks. Now we still don't know this traitor's motive, but apparently they want to see Vegapunk die and may even be looking to take his place. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the punks, who could be the traitor among them, and then we're going to comment on their personalities and what could be their motivation for the traitorous punk to be doing all this. Before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel or even if you've watched a bunch of our videos, we'd be absolutely honored if you'd leave us a like and even subscribe and maybe leave us a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out, especially with that old YouTube algorithm, and it keeps motivating us to make more content. And if you'd like to help out the channel in a bigger way, consider sharing this video or another one of your favorites with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So my friends, at some point in the past, because he was so busy with his inventions and just being full of ideas, but not able to do it all himself, Vegapunk was able to split his being into 6 different people, called satellites or offshoots. All of these individuals share parts of Vegapunk's brain via punk records. Now, all these satellites identify themselves as Dr. Vegapunk and will present themselves as such, but they also have their own unique names and numerical designations that distinguish them apart, as well as having their own unique personalities. Each of the satellites are also distinguished by embodying a particular aspect of Vegapunk's personality, being good, evil, intelligence, wisdom, violence, and greed. Each of them occupying a different function for the whole. These individuals also use different first-person pronouns and speech patterns, each having unique ways of speaking. Now, the true body of Vegapunk is called the Stella, or the Star, which is supposed to be the true Vegapunk, responsible for commanding the other punks. One thing is worth noting, though, is that the method Vegapunk used to split his being into 6 different entities is still unknown, but many have speculated that it might be a part of his devil fruit powers. But however he managed to do it, by splitting himself into 6 people, Vegapunk can now be much more productive, as his satellites are able to work independently and at the same time. And the fact that each of the satellites can also be equipped with weapons, vehicles, and technology allows the punks to each hold their own in battle. Each of the satellites are connected and are able to communicate through an earpiece, which also allows them to share senses, as Shaka was able to understand what Lilith was up to when she was contemplating attacking the Straw Hats in their first encounter. Another strange thing that we've learned as well is that necessary bodily functions can also be assigned to a single satellite, allowing the others to dispense with them. So currently, York is tasked with doing everything necessary for all the punks to survive, such as eating, sleeping, and even taking care of their needs in the restroom so that the punks never have to stop working. So although all the punks seem united, they don't necessarily seem to share the same mentality, which causes them to act on their own as different individuals, and this has allowed a traitor to arise among them. And as far as it looks, this traitor has been planning this move for quite a long time, waiting for just the right moment to achieve their ultimate objective. And the traitor's punk was even able to leak information from Vegapunk's research to the world government, just so the Gorosei might do something about it. On top of that, this traitor was also able to capture several Cypherpole agents over quite a long time, because multiple ones had been going to Egghead to investigate what Vegapunk has been working on. And these are captures that not even the other punks knew about, or even knew who was responsible. So they were able to capture and get the agents quiet and kept it all out of the mix of the rest of the punks. Getting back to chapter 1076, we just discovered that the real Vegapunk has been trapped next to the captured CP0 agents for well over a month, and it's unknown if he was captured recently because of the CP0 raid on Egghead, or if he was with Bonnie, or captured much earlier and the imposter has taken their place and been slowly enacting their plan. As we've seen in previous chapters, Vegapunk was with Bonnie analyzing Kuma's hidden memories, and there's a possibility that Vegapunk and Bonnie were just attacked by the traitor, but it's also possible that this traitor took care of Vegapunk quite a long time ago, and then created a clone or perhaps took on his appearance. But either way, there's still a traitor among the punks, someone who is acting without the other punks noticing, which is no small feat. So let's take a minute to talk about each individual punk and evaluate their personality to try and figure out who might be the one that is backstabbing the rest of the Vegapunk clones. Starting with the first punk, known as Shaka. This is one of the most likely people being the traitor punk. Shaka is designated as Vegapunk's good satellite, being the main one in command, second only to the original Vegapunk or the Stella, who is the leader of all the punks. Shaka is extremely reasonable, collected, and considerate, and during Lilith's confrontation with the Straw Hat pirates, Shaka was shown to be extremely observant, quickly realizing the dangers that the Straw Hats presented, quickly communicating to Lilith that she might be making a mistake if she decided to attack. Shaka also doesn't approve of Lilith looting or taking things from others, saying that such actions are detrimental to a scientist's pride, always acting in a calm and logical way, but they might be hiding something that we just don't know about yet. You see, Shaka wears a mask or a helmet and always has their face hidden, and is always acting in a very linear and mysterious way, never showing what they really think or feel, being in front of computers to command different areas of Egghead, and that makes them a great suspect to be the traitor. The thing that is the biggest mystery about Shaka is they embody good from the original Vegapunk. And this is one of those places where we wonder, is their traitorous act a greater good scenario? But then again, if they are the true embodiment of Vegapunk's good, they might be the most willing to help the real Vegapunk escape the island at all costs, no matter if they end up sacrificing themselves or a few other punks just so that Stella can get out alive, demonstrating a somewhat strange kind of cooperation. The second punk, known as Lilith, is another big suspect and has been talked about a lot throughout the community. She is designated as Vegapunk's evil satellite, and Lilith is the manifestation of Vegapunk's cruel and malevolent traits, thus coming off as very deceitful and untrustworthy as an individual. Lilith is the one that uses her technology and weaponry to rob travelers. Now, mainly pirates who end up invading Egghead, so this is how they justify their actions to Shaka as necessary to keep Vegapunk's research operational. Lilith also might have thought about handing the Straw Hats over to CP0, and may have known that Rob Lucci was someone capable of assassinating other people, demonstrating that Lilith does support these cruel actions of these groups. As an individual, Lilith possesses a reckless attitude and often acts impulsively, irritably, and mockingly. It's for this reason she was one of the most outgoing and daring of the punks, being eager to face any perceived enemies directly and violently, although she still seems to have moments of clarity and does back down in situations where she can't win. Lilith also hates taking orders, especially from Shaka, her good counterpart. It's because Shaka always has these exemplary behaviors that tends to really constantly irritate Shaka, so she decides to act in a way that is always the opposite of their good counterpart. But again, this also doesn't mean that Lilith isn't a team member, because she worries about the other punks, as she wanted to fight CP0 to avenge Atlas, who'd been hit by a powerful strike from Lucci. And she was also deeply worried when Edison almost lost his life to the S-Shark laser, and was also relieved when Sanji saved him in time. Yet because of this cruel side of her, it leads us to believe that Lilith might be plotting something against Vegapunk. Now, although she cares a lot about her counterparts, the other punks, Lilith never once shown concern for Stella, the original Vegapunk, leaving one to believe that she may also be a good guess as the traitorous punk. The third punk we'll discuss is Edison, and he's been designed as the thinking satellite of Vegapunk. Edison is extremely energetic and constantly busy brainstorming new ideas for inventions and performing experiments, and this behavior continues even if there's dangerous situations going on or danger is even imminent. Since we saw Edison having ideas and brainstorming when CP0 arrived at the lava phase to start the mission to take all of the Vegapunks' lives, he often intervenes with Eureka whenever he has an idea, and Edison was surprised by Lilith's violent tendencies and threats. But Edison also seems to care about Vegapunk's allies, as he was worried that Stussy would become a target of the world government should her true loyalty to Vegapunk ever become known. And he was also initially unsure about contacting her when CP0 first made landfall and was looking to take out the rest of the Vegapunks. So far, Edison hasn't shown anything suspicious that would incriminate him as a treasure, as his behaviors indicate that he really wants to help. And as previously stated, he has knowledge of many of Vegapunk's secrets, most notably the fact that Stussy was an ally. If he really was the traitor among the group, Edison would have easily been able to warn the world government about a traitor within CP0, causing Stussy to be captured and unable to help Vegapunk now that they're in this Egghead Island arc. Our fourth punk is Pythagoras, being the satellite of Vegapunk's wisdom, and Pythagoras was shown to be calm and highly interested in watching the performances of Vegapunk's inventions, as this would provide exceptional data. He also tends to resort to peaceful solutions, as he would try to reason with the CP0 agents that were sent to take the lives of Vegapunk and his satellites, trying to make excuses for them not to land on Egghead. Pythagoras even advised Lilith not to make matters worse when she got angry at his repeated requests for permission to dock, knowing that impulsive reactions would lead them to come to the island anyway. Pythagoras was also hit by a seraphim when the traitor began to act inside Egghead's lab, being hit off guard but still managing to survive. Now, this act of the seraphim does not rule out the possibility that Pythagoras could be our traitor, because if the truth is not revealed, all the punks are suspected of causing this great confusion. But because he was caught off guard, or at least seemingly off guard, while Egghead's cameras were being destroyed, it might have made Shaka, who was watching the cameras in the laboratory, not be able to see see this event. This means that Shaka wouldn't be able to prove or disprove that Pythagoras was actually the cause for the attack. The fifth punk is Atlas, and is designed to be Vegapunk's satellite of violence. Now, Atlas has a quick temper and is prone to violence when angered, and this was shown to occur if someone attacks her, or if people show some inability to successfully utilize her inventions. She is very talkative and will happily give detailed explanations of the inner workings of her inventions, and she's also very interested in the question of defining reality. And while she has a firm view on the subject, she feels that other people need to decide the answer for themselves. Atlas has also been shown to be quite reckless, as she went after CP0 despite Shaka warning her that she could not win against those agents, even going as far as attempting to confront Rob Lucci directly. Like some of the other punks mentioned, Atlas is still suspicious, but it seems she really wants to help Vegapunk and the Straw Hats escape the island, doing her best to find ways to delay their opponents for this escape to happen, which means that this lowers her kind of heat level as a prime suspect. Our sixth and final punk is York, and she embodies the greed of Vegapunk. And York is probably contributed to the genius scientist's numerous technological developments. She is responsible for eating, sleeping, and even relieving herself on behalf of all the other satellites. Because she is literally the powerhouse and power source for all the rest of the Vegapunks, she consumes massive amounts of food, to the point of reaching a BMI of 600, which is 20 times the amount considered obese. She then expels the waste and sleeps through it, doing this several times a day, but it doesn't seem like it negatively affects her body. Although York seems very kind and generous because of her work, York is still an underexplored character. Like Lilith, she does represent a negative personality trait of Vegapunks, being greed. This greed could just be a manifestation of her gluttony and could be related to the fact that she needs to take in all the information from the team, but it also could be tied to some obscure goal of hers for greed of power. Now, so far she hasn't acted very strangely, but has been hiding and keeping a considerable distance from these events going on Egghead, showing herself as the least productive in helping to find a way out of Egghead for the Straw Hats and of course Stella. So as we can see, there are a few punks that could seem quite suspicious, while others that might seem to be flying under the radar. But again, if we know one thing about Oda, it's that he loves a good twist. So tell us your opinion in the comments about who among these 6 punks that you think is the most suspicious and who could be the real traitor among them. Also, give us some ideas about how this transpired and how long they've been putting on this ruse. Give us all your thoughts and all those juicy details down in the comments below. So as we wrap up our video for the day, we'd like to thank you all so much for watching the video, especially those of you who've made it here to the very end. Be sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like and hit that red subscribe button before you head out to take on the rest of your day. I hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.